changer baila, souffler la joie, souffler l'amour, souffler la paix, souffler la douleur, souffler la galère. I'm with you, say Shizzy. Your mama said Shizzy. I'm with you, say Shizzy. Your mama said Shizzy. I'm with you, say Shizzy. Step up, Malila. Step by Selati. Step up, Mr. Buddha. Step up, Hare Krishna. I'm with you, say Shizzy. Your mama said Shizzy. I'm with you, say Shizzy. Your mama said Shizzy. You play la paix, you bless your smile, you play l'amour, you play la douleur. I want you to say Shizzy, your mama say Shizzy. I want you to say Shizzy, your mama say Shizzy. I want you to say Shizzy, I want you to say Shizzy. Your mama say Shizzy, I want you to say Shizzy. Say mama sola. Okay, good night. Well, we very late tonight, and I'm sure listeners will understand the program we had. We had to change everything because we had decided from today till Creole Festival that every Thursday would have either a Bouyon artist or Kadas artist for the first portion. We had to abort that. In fact, Gordon Anderson was online. We were supposed to be speaking to him, but because of the time constraint, we had to stop him because the plan is have Gordon today, another one next week, and the first day before Creole Festival. But we had to abort that tonight. Even some of the things we had, obviously tonight we're going to be speaking to the national coach, the football, the Dominica team. They're playing a tournament next month. Will also Ronald Lander traveled to Calibishi and did an interview with Pierre Lafont. So we'll speak about that tonight as well. And what's in this playing tonight, guys, we have to mention that and speak about that. But ladies and gentlemen, we just heard this simulcast, and I don't want to criticize anybody, but Thompson Fountain, anytime I want to know about the weather, I will call Thompson Fountain. Right and tag it explains to you. And a lot of people probably didn't understand what is going on there because you have people, in fact, it appears that some people just want to be heard because most people who are following you where they would realize that Dominica is not going to be any serious thing. Praise God, we have a God. God is protecting us. We knew that. And some people, I got a lot of text messages while we were there waiting and wondered what is going on there. But that we have no control over that. And I just say, Dominicans too often and people take advantage. Anyhow, we have the national coach there.
Simon, just 1 minute, very briefly, before you go to the national coach. I think there's something up front I'd like to say. I'd like to extend sympathy to the family and friends of Connie Lugay, who will be buried tomorrow. Connie Lugay was a very good footballer. He played for Porters. He also played for Celtics. And in the days of Porters, the Portersville Savannah used to be up to a very high standard. Let's look at the state of the Portersville Savannah today. He was also a softball cricketer and a musician. He was a bassman. He was the first bassman for the Ignition Band. And he was a very excellent electrical technician for motor vehicles. Connie, may your soul rest in peace, and my full sympathies with your families and friends.
Yes, as I said, we're going to be speaking to the national coach. Good night, coach. Are you on?
Good night. Yes, I am.
Well, I don't know what to call you if he's the interim coach, the real coach, because he must explain to people. Because, I heard on another radio station that there were over 300 applications and the coach will be decided. And next year I hear you're the interim coach for a tournament next month. So you must tell listeners exactly what are you now so people can know. Tell us.
Well, as far as I know, I am the head coach. The interim is just a word. Your roles and responsibilities does not change because somebody chooses to add an extra word, whether it be interim or part-time. I'm the head coach and I'll function as such.
Right. There's a tournament next month. Tell listeners what tournament it is because people probably don't know what it's like. Yeah.
It's a new tournament. It's an inaugural tournament from CONCACAF. It's a Series A tournament. where they group in countries that are not taking part in the World Cup to give them an opportunity to play a bit more football in the absence of their participation in the World Cup. We are grouped in with the two St. Martins, Baileys, and St. Kitts. Our group will be playing our games in St. Kitts in two FIFA windows. One is next month, and the other one is in March.
Right. But don't you think that the time allotted is not insufficient to have your team prepared for that tournament?
Well, it's a matter of discussion. But if I felt to myself that I did not have enough time, I would not have taken the job. I mean, we don't have professionals here, but in a professional setup, teams are called a month, 2 weeks to prepare for a tournament. I mean, like I said, we do not have professionals here. The players are not as far as I thought they would be. I expect them to be a lot less fit, but some of them seem to have been doing their personal training, and their fitness level is not where it should be, but it is not far off.
Oh, but I heard a squad announced. Do you have most of the players who last represented Dominica on that squad?
So majority of the squad is players that represented during the last campaign, as well as some of the players that made a name for themselves in the recently concluded Premier League. Some scoring a lot of goals, some giving some good defensive shifts. There's a young guy, Alison Gasper, who I feel is a number 10 in the making, which is a deficiency we have, and we as a staff decided to work with him and see how best we can get him up to par.
Which team that guy plays for?
We United.
Okay, so a young under 20?
He's only 16 years.
Wow, okay. All right. He plays in midfield?
Yes, he plays in attacking midfield.
Okay, all right. And are you going to have overseas players playing in that for Dominica in that tournament?
Yeah, as far as I know, yes.
So when do they join the training squad?
The foreign-based players normally join the training squad a week before we depart, which is when we normally have a 1 week training camp, so sort of to get them to gel with the local players that have made the team.
But tell me now, so there's a competition that have started again, the President's Cup. What days are you going to be training?
Well, for now, we train Mondays and Wednesdays, and the games that the players have on the weekend will serve as an additional training session where we expect them to play at a speed and be competitive in a manner that's fitting of a national team player.
Yes, Coach. What I saw in the team from the last time I was able to look at them, I saw some deficiencies in the midfield and the forwards. You just spoke about the number 10, a promising number 10. But generally, is there any noticeable improvements in the key players over the last season?
Well, yeah, I would say they made a conscious effort to try and play a lot quicker. Like I discussed them last night after our training session, is about being competitive. I mean, we're really saying that the league is not where we expect it to be or where we want it to be, but it's a collective effort. It's an effort from the coaches and an effort from the officials, and more importantly, an effort from the players. Because if you cannot create that enabling environment week in, week out, then you will continue to have the deficiencies that we speak of.
I know you're going through a stage of preparation. You've got a very short time period. You've got to do your technical drills and look at areas where you could improve on the quality of football. But in that preparation, do you have the opportunity to gain knowledge of the opposing teams? The St. Martin team, the St. Kitts team, and see what key players in those teams?
Yes, I do. St. Martin played St. Kitts last weekend. They had two friendly matches, one on Friday, one on Saturday evening. St. Kitts won both of those matches. The first one a 5-0 and the second one 2-1 victory.
So you have a video of that game?
Yes, the video is right there, YouTube, Facebook. You can look at it.
Okay, so all right. What about Baileys? Baileys is also Baileys in that group with you too?
Baileys in that group, but to get videos from Baileys, you'd have to go back to their CONCACAF campaign.
Okay, because I think it's very important that you preview, and given the level of science now in sports, that if you can preview your opponents, it allows you to be more prepared for certain persons that you'll be coming up against.
Yeah, just like in your school days, we call that homework. So as a coach, that's your homework.
Lovey, I know you are bamboozled by this like several cars somebody went there before. I know that. I mean, so I'm sure you have some question for the coach. I know you are bamboozled because you were wondering what is already going on about this way to think. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, but even before I touch on the football, Sebastian, I told you there's an app I follow every day.
Mhm.
Weather app, very reliable individual. So I
Mhm.
know to your listeners, very, very reliable. People should just, if they have YouTube, every month, whatever approaching
We
stuff.
have Thompson
But
Fontaine.
Lobby,
We have Thompson Fontaine.
yeah, we don't have to go to
We
YouTube.
have
We
Thompson
have Thompson
Fontaine.
Fontaine right there,
Yeah.
who gives you, explains everything
So
to the T.
Via the WhatsApp.
And people are wasting time on the radio trying to be heard. Some people are not calling names, want to be heard. Anyway, go ahead, Lobby.
That was a fiasco. Now, Sebastian, on the football for Dominica, Sebastian, the first question I want to ask you, Sebastian, we have people going to CONCACAF meeting, CFU meeting, and these are things that should be planned. They should have an itinerary of things planned in advance. What I'm hearing about in terms of this competition, not enough time for preparation, that's making no sense to me. All right, these people just go and they go to CFU CONCACAF meeting and they go to X and they are just having a good time. No football in the region at the Windward level, OECS level. These things are not being discussed. All right, and just not being discussed at all. Our football here in Dominica is not, I'll say, it's not going anywhere at all. The football is going anywhere. I'm totally dissatisfied. Totally dissatisfied with Dominica football. From the time Glenn took over from Patrick John to now, our rank, we were higher than now. We had less money from FIFA. Less now, you have more money now. Look what happened to our football now. What's happening to it now? It's a joke for what I'm saying. A lot of work has to be done. A lot of work. So in terms of to catch up with what I say with modern with football now. FIFA right now is trying to hoping the next World Cup, not this one coming, next World Cup, hoping to to have more teams. All right, more teams. But if
Well, Lobby, what you should do, let's concentrate now. We have the coach.
I know.
We want to question him about what, because next month we're playing. He hasn't got much time. Yeah.
Listen to me. I don't expect anything in the Dominica. Like looking at the league itself, the league on my looking at the league now and again, and the same thing I am saying. There's no improvement. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to
Coach,
do.
would you agree with Low Black's assessment?
I very much agree. I mean, I am not in charge of the administrative part, but football wise, yeah, we have work to do. Like I say, I mean, the speed of play should be faster because when you go up against teams like Dominican Republic and Guatemala and his teams, I mean, these are teams you meet week in, week out in competition. Look now, Bailey's. These are not pushover teams. So you as a player have to do your personal work and get up to par. And even the local teams and clubs and the club coaches, everybody is quick to blame and say the national team doesn't do well. The national team this. But it's like I say, it's a collective effort. I can only work with what I'm given.
I was going to ask a question, that's all of me, but I see you came up the answer. I was just going to ask you, how do you fix that? But I heard you explain, well, it's up to the coaches of the clubs and everything, because the problem you're speaking about, for a national team point of view, how do you get that? Do you speak to the local coaches or have sessions with them to get them to fix that?
Well, additionally, coach, we spoke about that previously. Do we have any coaches sessions where you as the head coach could meet the other coaches and work with them and see the deficiencies and how we could correct the deficiencies and improve on the quality of play?
No, I don't think there's such thing that exists. However, a lot of the coaches that coach Premier teams now have their CONCACAF B license, so they are aware of what is necessary and what needs to be done. And the contact time I have with most of the players at the national level is a lot less than what the club coach is supposed to have, because on the national team level, we have 2 or 3 sessions a week. So that means the rest of the sessions are with the club coaches. So like I say, majority of the development rests in the hands of the club coaches.
Now,
Lobby, you had a question. I saw your hands were up. Yeah,
yes, I have to say something there, Sebastian. When presently there is this individual from Ireland or from Scotland or England attached to the Football Association. Is that right, Coach?
Yes,
yeah,
that's
Mr.
right.
Hurd. Mr. Hurd is his name.
Right. He was on this program. We had Glenn on this program, and some people don't. I thought that just what was said a while ago about whether the coach Dunga, he has sessions with the coaches. what I proposed that should have been happening is that this individual, I said this individual should meet the coaches on island even just once a week to assist them. That is the man. Is that you brought the man here for 2 years, all right, 2 years to assist the team. Then there's something else. I am looking at Dunga. I remember when you were on the program, I made mention of overseas players. And I believe you were not that happy. What I'm saying is this: looking at all teams, Jamaica, for example, look at Jamaica. The league is much bigger than Dominica League. And you look at the national team, a lot of overseas players. We have a cadre of Dominican-based in England. We have a high commission office in England. What is being done? It happened years ago when I was part of the Football Association. We brought down some players, all right, that help our football. You look at one or two. If it's one midfield player, one defender, one striker, all right, to make this very, very important to have all over the world bringing in foreign players, even big team like England, Australia, they bring in players. Why? Why is the problem? Why don't we go shopping in England?
Well, let him answer that, Lobby. You just made it point. Let him answer that. Coach, answer that
Well,
question.
I remember with the last head coach, we did go shopping in England. It didn't bear much fruit. I think since then, there's only one player from Europe that came and keeps coming to represent. Dominica is a young man from the Lapland area. He's a prospect. But we do bring foreign-based players on a regular basis, depending on the level of the match. You'll see I go to America, I go to Europe, I go to different places and get players. It's just that sometimes, based on the nature of the tournament, you try and expose your young players as well, because like I will always advocate for the local players to get a chance. I respect your view where Jamaica goes and gets players from all over the world and try and compete and so on. I respect that. I feel if you have somebody here that can,
look,
then I think we should use them.
Let me tell you something, brother. I totally, if I was the coach, I don't agree with you at all. I don't know which one watching just now, brother. All right. You said you were in England. What contact? As I said,
I don't know if he said that. I didn't say.
I said
He didn't say he was in England, Lobby.
Went on an excursion in England, and they had a showcase where they had a number of Dominican players come up. Why we don't understand, Mr. Low Black? It is all fine and well to come and bring down or to attempt to bring down foreign-based players from all over the world. If you do not have the enabling environment, these players will not come back or they will not come. Period.
One of the just now, I just come back to you. First of all, as I said, we have this council in England. What contact the FA? When Glenn mentioned that, what contact you'll have? What in terms of these players in England? How can they get to to represent Dominica? You said about there are factors in terms of what are the factors you think is the problem? Why the players will not come? Is it money?
Number one, you may see a good player and you may hear he has Dominican roots, but the Dominican roots he has, based on all our legalities and our passport arrangements and agreement, he cannot represent Dominica because his grandparents are Dominicans, and that is not allowed in our laws.
I know about that one, but I know a lot of them, either mother, father, but from Dominica, both parents from.
Well, give some suggestions to the Football Association, Low Black. If you know of those players, make some suggestions to Glenn Etienne.
Blanda on this Sports Front program, they have been there, have made this, and nobody people are not listening. Then the coach is talking about utilizing overseas base. And I just said a while ago, I know what you're saying, but I'm looking at what is happening with foot. Look, Jamaica almost going to go and qualify for this World Cup. All right, inclusion, they have their league is much bigger than our league. All right, and they're looking to going forward all over. I'm seeing it. The teams are bringing overseas the best. Not you'll bring 5 or 6 players, but in terms of the midfield, for example, that center in particular, all right, to assist us. Lo and behold, our football looking a shamble.
But Ronald just asked you a question about make the suggestion. You're not saying get overseas players, but can you identify some people you believe the coach could use? It is to say get there, but do you know players, Lobby, the
Sibo.
4 or 5 guys the coach can use. Yeah, I'm asking you, yeah.
Sibo, just like
Go
I-
ahead.
but I'm telling I have players, friends, or like who are footballers, and they have given names to the FA. They are given names already to the FA, and they're forgotten. They are given names to the
You
FA.
mean you some people have given names to the FA, and are you is the coach aware of that? Is
I don't
Mr. Sabin aware of that?
I know about that. I know about this coach, but I'm telling about that. But Sibo, I'm not talking just in a vacuum, I'm telling about what existing. All right. My problem is this, in a nutshell, is this: we have for us to move forward. And what I'm saying is, in terms we have strikers, we have the center, the forward, the back. Look and see, even though you can get 3, you may not get 5 and 1-5, you may get 3 good players from outside to help you, to help the team. Because of
Well, Lobby, I'm going to give you an assignment. I'll give you the coach number, Mr. Sabin. If you have a few names, have a personal conversation with him. Tell him, well, this so and so, and see what is that. That's why I say, because it's easy to say, let's get,
No,
get
I don't talk a vacuum, brother. I don't talk.
Well, I just said to you, what can be done? We could give the names to the coach. Anyway, let me ask you, coach, a question. When the team was announced, I heard about, well, a committee decided. Who selected the squad for the training camp, the training that's going on?
The coaching staff.
The coaching staff. Because I know the coach everywhere is responsible for selecting the squad.
There's a committee put in place to oversee the runnings of the national team, but not for selection of players. It's a coaching staff. Because remember, the players we select are our responsibilities, and you will select players that you open that will do what you want them to do and make you look, make you do what you want to and achieve what you want to achieve. A committee may sit down and say, I like to see Emmanuel Lobak, I like to see, Ozzy Savre, I like to see this person, that person, but may not be what you're looking for. But I welcome your suggestion to Mr. Loblack as to presenting the names, because everybody just say that this player, that player, and that player. But then nobody never shares the information. I remember that same thing with the last coach. Over 100 and something players showed up, and we only managed to get 1 from 100 and something. And it's because when we do our investigation, is 3rd generation, 4th generation, and they cannot represent the country.
But let me ask you, is Mr. Hurdy Dominica now the Scottish coach?
Yes, he was at my session on Monday, and we and him have a good relationship. He looks at the session, he speaks to me on a regular basis, things he likes, things he doesn't like, and we have a regular discussion.
Okay, so will he be part of you?
But an informal meeting.
Will he be assisting you while you prepare the guys for the tournament next month?
If he'll be assisting me?
Will be
assisting my staff. Mr. Hurd was brought here on a talent identification program for youth.
Okay.
So that is the area where he more targeting. If you remember, he was with the under 14 girls that recently did well. He was with the under 14 boys prior to that. So that is more his area where he was brought to work. But like I say, me and him have regular discussions, informal discussions about different aspects of the game.
So how many players do you have now training?
We call a 36-member squad.
Don't you think that's plenty in a short space of time?
Not really.
Okay. So when do you hope to cut down the squad then?
Probably in next 2 weeks.
No, but
yeah, coach. Given your past experiences and the current existing situations, what are your expectations of this coming tournament?
As always, I expect to do well. I expect to perform. I expect to.
What standard you expect to at least to perform at?
Well, like I said, the players are not fully fit because of the length of time which the Premier League has stopped, which is just over a month. But we feel we can get them as close as possible to where we need them to perform. We may have to make a few tweaks with the formation and the style of play to ensure that we are successful. But we feel the job can be done.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
Going back again to the same question, you just said that there was the league finish. That's what I cannot understand. You have an executive. You're an executive. This should never happen. Never happen. That in terms of this information, that's a lit tournament. That is something that should have been that you should have heard before the league, before the commencement of Dominica football. Gentlemen, that is what we have. All right, we have the league, we have overseas players, we have the overseas engagements, you have this competition at the end. But gentlemen, keep on training. The league is over, so you get them information. The thing is, man,
I totally agree with you.
That's mad. That is total madness, man. You're going to CFU meeting, you're going to CONCACAF meeting. All they're doing is I say so, you know, they have all inclusive, have a good time. That's all that's happening there.
Well, anyway, that is not the coach problem anyhow. That's not his problem. Anyway, coach, because tonight we had to cut down on certain things. So what we will do, I will be in touch if you will closer to the time you're going to St. Kitts. We'll probably invite you again because tonight was just a problem with this simulcast they had. So I want to thank you for coming, and then we'll arrange again at some point. And I hope the training goes well. So because it's about time we win something, right? It's about time in football we win something. All right?
Thanks much for the opportunity as always.
All right, cool. So we'll take a break now, and then when we come back, we'll hear this interview Ronald Lander had with Fia Laffa. We'll take an ad break now.
Where in Roseau, key matter is you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast, and you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love pull, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks, it's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
The economic fabric of Dominica revolves at AC Shillingford and Company. For timeless, trusted, dependable, comprehensive insurance coverage, it has to be New India Insurance. Need anything overseas? Shopbox Dominica and Isle of Freight is your advance on-time delivery right to your doorstep. For super savings on all your groceries, come to ACS Super Shopping Center for laundry, groceries, cooking, beverages, and event supplies on King Jonathan Street. ACS 7-Eleven on High Street, supplying your everyday essentials. Fill up your vehicle gas tanks, get your cooking gas, and top-ups of all kinds. Or go to 7-Eleven Portersville, where the best-kept secret is conveniently located upstairs in the confidential escape or staycation self-contained accommodations at the Porter's Place. AC Shillingford, where you spend less and get more.
When you want the leg, you do shop at SDA. Better than the rest, go shop at SDA. And the husband wear, shop at SDA. You get more for life, shop at SDA. Shop at SDA, yeah, shop at SDA. Shop at SDA, shop at SDA. Yes, family, customer friendly, with free locations, it's so convenient, and our prices. Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SDA. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SDA. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, couple, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Check us out at Portersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Waters Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Some laundry detergents may miss the mark when it comes to adding softness to your loads. But fortunately, Dominica, we've got Ensueno fabric softener. Ensueno is the conditioner of laundry care, making your clothes feel butterfly soft. Discover Ensueno fabric softener. Long-lasting, nature-inspired fragrances protect your fabrics. Revitalize your laundry with the refreshing scent of spring fresh Ensueno fabric softener. Makes your clothes fluffy, alive, and vibrant. Love all over Dominica. Local agents, AC Sheriff Company. Available for all supermarkets, your favorite friendly neighborhood outlet or shop. Use Ensueno.
Whenever I go out and explore Island Dominica, I always carry a few bottles of Guapito water. Let's go. Me and my crew, we're in Dominica. Me and my crew, we heading down to the river. We on the beach and we full of stamina. We Guapito in a cura. Guapito water, still Dominica water. 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 Drink Guapito water, drink Guapito water, drink Guapito water, you have blood. Drink Guapito water. My water of choice is Guapito water. Stay healthy. Drink Guapito water. Pure Dominican water.
And we must also remember the Naji Sportster, who have also been, they've also consented at some certain times to sponsor this program, this best sports store in Dominica between Jolly's Pharmacy and AC Shillingford. We mustn't forget Del Naji Sportster, close to Jolly. Right, so we're going to go. Ronald Lander went to Calibishi. There was this retreat for athletics where Fia Lafont was present. I think she was the main host. And Ronald and Lander conducted that interview first. So we're going to listen to that interview now.
Yeah, before I go in there, I also want to endorse the statement you made on Del Najis. Del Najis is very much interested in sports development in Dominica. And anytime you want your sports equipment, please go to Del Najis. Recently, I drove to Calibishi to interview Fia Lafont. In my earlier days as a public officer, I used to go around paying people on the road, public works. And also during my days as director of the industry at the National Development Corporation, I also was moving around. This time I drove between Calibishi and Portsmouth. Portsmouth to Calibishi, Calibishi to Portsmouth. And the quality of the road is so poor and narrow. There is no signage. And all you see around you is bush, bush, bush. What's happening to our agricultural sector? Again, tourism. Somebody leaves the airport and wants to go to a hotel in Portsmouth, be it Secret Bay, be it Intercontinental, and you've got to go through that poor, narrow road. This is not good enough. Notwithstanding, I had a very good discussion with Fia Lafont. Fia Lafont is a very impressive Dominican athlete, and we're going to have that interview now. Pleasure to have you in Dominica once again. Just share with us some of your experience, your recent experiences, straight after the games, and being in Dominica now.
Yeah. So we are coming right from Tokyo. I don't think I've been home longer than 2 weeks at this point. Still getting a more used to that 13-hour time zone back. But yes, fresh off a new silver world championship medal, came home to Dominica quite soon after. And really eager to lean into some of the endeavors I've been working on behind the scenes. The first was, being an ambassador, my ambassador role at NBD, to open the new global lounge, a new experience, an affordable experience, especially for NBD card and debit holders, $25 USD for a very luxurious experience coming in and out of the airport. And then right on to chiefing and chairing, this amazing experience we put together for the athletes, our inaugural, Pelago Chips Athletes Retreat, which we're in the middle of right now. You found me down at the river where Wata will be this year,
Yes,
having
yes.
a very unique experience. But it's been a great weekend.
Elaborate on the retreat a bit.
No problem. It's been an opportunity for athletes in Dominica and a few athletes in St. Thomas to come and collaborate and talk about overcoming and perseverance and the ups and downs and difficulties of becoming and being an elite athlete, but also a place where they can get, honestly, the resources they need to go further. We had a great conversation today just before we came here, where the athletes were able to ask any questions and seek advice from a very well-established panel, both from the VI, both from Dominica, included Brendan Williams, myself, Ms. Karen from USVI Sports Administration, and it really just became a place where the athletes could let their guards down and ask some very insightful questions, both about maybe even chasing NCAA aspirations or about how to stay focused and questions about nutrition and mental health. And this is what we hope to be a really important piece and start of something beautiful. We love to see this grow, but having a place where the athletes feel supported, because oftentimes I hear from a lot of Caribbean athletes that sports are almost seen as a childish endeavor where they are looked at to walk away from it once they have gotten older, and no one really sees it as a means of, support and a career, almost viewed as a hobby. And being here and hearing, these young athletes talk and them sympathizing, them being able to get sympathy or even be able to get support is so important. I want the next generation to always know that I have their back. And it's not just Dominicans. Dominicans are my priority, of course.
Yes. Were there any other Dominican athletes involved in that particular retreat?
Absolutely. We had 4 of them. We did have 4 of them. Miss Akila, Miss Gemerly, names. But yes, we had
Okay.
4. We had 4 Dominican athletes and 2 St. Thomas athletes, both basketball players. So we had 2 basketball players, we had a volleyball player, we had a track and field netball and volleyball player, and we had a netball player. So 6 athletes in total
With this
weekend.
particular retreat,
Mhm.
is there any discussion so that you can come back to Dominica and deal exclusively with Dominican athletes to share your experience?
You're asking if I would come back
Is there any organization or any
Mhm.
discussion in that area?
about coming back
Similar to
exclusively
what you
for
do, yes, for Dominica.
exclusively for Dominicans?
Yeah.
I would be absolutely available to it for sure. I think that, I feel like I'm always available to work exclusively with Dominicans, no problem whatsoever. I think Pelago Trips, the brand in which we partnered with to make this happen this week, is really big on the initiative of representing and bringing the Caribbean together. This does not mean that Dominican athletes are not in the forefront of my mind. They had first dibs to even say to an experience like this. And I'm hoping that maybe this is the first time many athletes are even hearing about this, and that the next year becomes even bigger and better, and we have more Dominican athletes present for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your plans and programs for the next year? They're about
The plans and programs.
what competitions will be taking part
Mm-hmm.
in? I know that you've been talking about doing some preparatory work,
Mhm.
and that kind of thing.
So the next season is bringing on a few unique events. The Commonwealth Games are back this year in Glasgow, 2026. Excuse me, not this year, next year.
What month next year?
That's a good. What month is Commonwealth Games? July to August of 2026.
Okay.
And then we'll have the Ultimate Championship, which is the very, very brand new competition brought on by World Athletics, which will be at the end of September next year. So 2026 is going to be a lot of unique opportunities, including an Indoor Worlds in Poland. In Poland, yes.
All right.
So we've got Indoor Worlds Poland, we've got Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, and then we have Ultimate Championships, a new meet by World Athletics, and that will be in Budapest, Hungary.
All right. I'm impressed with your brilliance and your talent. What recommendations do you have for Dominica to produce athletes of your caliber?
I think the advice I have is to help these athletes acquire the resources needed to succeed, even if the resources may not be on islands. We are in a process of clearing land to build our track, and that is amazing. And that would start a major wave of change into being able to keep our athletes on island, but by the simple resource of having a track. That's true. But in the meantime, we have to nurture what we have. And if that means the best possible outcome for the athlete is an endeavor in the States or Jamaica or even maybe even Grenada, seeing what the athletes need and nurturing what they need specifically, their specific needs. That is what we need.
Yeah, and finally, given your brilliance, is the Ministry of Tourism using you to do any promotional work outside of Dominica, especially as you're an ambassador?
I think that what's been helping them quite a bit is that I tend to be on podiums quite often now. And so when you're on a podium, you immediately have mics in your face.
Mhm.
And then I go into immediate ambassador mode. So is there anything outside of this? Yes, we do have a lot of advertisements around the Caribbean. This year, I got calls from Trinidad and St. Lucia saying that they saw me on a float and during St. Lucia Carnival, and that my Trinidadian athlete friends were shocked that they even saw me on a billboard in Trinidad because they didn't have a billboard in Trinidad and they're Trinidadian. So I do think that the Ministry of Tourism is definitely doing quite well in ensuring that Dominica and my name are intertwined and that we are at least throughout the Caribbean for sure. On the international realm, I will say, nothing brought more spotlight to Dominica than that Olympic medal. People are still talking about it. They know about Dominica. And when I ask them, like, oh, which Dominica you think you're talking about? They all look at me like I'm crazy and say the one where Roseau is the capital. And that has been a game changer this past year. And I'm so proud of it. So the ministry is definitely working. Discover Dominica is definitely working. And the notoriety of that medal is still very much so working.
Very good. Thank you very much, Fia.
Thank
Pleasure
you so
talking to
much.
you.
Always
All
a
right.
joy.
Well, I heard you, Fia Laffer, say that we're in the process of clearing land. But why did you follow up? You should have followed up after. Where is that land being cleared? Did you see any land being? You drove all the way to Kalibishi. Where did you see that land being cleared? Because she said that.
On the way to Portsmouth, I saw some land being cleared. But
Where?
that's all.
Where?
That's the way where would that be? Getting into Portsmouth, just before you get into Portsmouth. What do you call this area there?
Where Point Drum?
You see the whole problem with, and I saw it when I was going to Kalibishi because I keep on asking people where I am. How far is Kalibishi again? And that's the problem all over Dominica. There is no signage. You're from certain areas, you pass in Collio. There's no sign saying there's Collio. There's no sign saying there's Point Drum. But you pass all the time and you know there. But this is very weak. And if you want to promote tourism, these are some of the things that we need to do.
Yeah, but you see, I keep hearing about clearing land. First, we were told we would have a track by this year. It would be finished. Now we're hearing about clearing land. By the way, Lobby, what about that project she had spoken about? What's his name? Flora?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Just now, Sibo, just now. I was listening attentively, because it's not fear that should have been asked about this thing. You had Brendan right there. I want to hear what question about the track, but again,
So Low Black, I went all the way to Kalibishi to speak to Fia Lafont, Gatson.
but you could
not
ask
to Brendan
Brendan.
Williams.
I agree with you.
So
but
don't tell me who I should speak to.
But no,
I went to speak
but at the
to
same time,
Fia.
you could
I
tell us.
traveled for hour and a half to speak to Fia and not to Brendan.
So you never asked him about the track.
I didn't ask him no question.
Anyway, guys, we have about it. Let's talk about cricket now. First of all, by the way, we have a caller. Let's take the caller. Hold on, Lobby.
Ask me
Let's
about
take
that
the
thing,
caller.
about the project.
Yeah, she said there's a project to clear land. Good
No,
evening, caller. Good evening.
Sibo, I didn't realize you was on tonight.
Yeah. They started with they start. Yeah, they had their kind of thing. Yeah.
That kind of thing there. When yesterday, security minister was coming on, I just switch it off and I said, he would come on. And wondering what was going on there. So, I'm happy to know that you're back and everybody there tonight.
Yeah.
And Jerome, have a good night.
All right. Okay, thank you. We have another call. One minute, Lobby. That's it. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sebastian. How are you?
What's up, bro? What's up?
I'm cool, and Lambi, and I'm Low Black.
Yeah, and Landa, yeah.
Now I heard Mr. Landa asked Ciela about does the Dominica Tourism Association ask her or using her to do anything. And I know they are not. And I asked, she says, once she sees a mic in your face, she goes into the mode of Dominica. But I would also like to tell all Dominicans, Ciela brought us our first gold medal from the Olympics. All right, because we have been since 1996 or so. trying at the Olympics. And Fiala brought us our first gold medal. And I believe it is fair to Sia and the people who are sponsoring her, Adidas, for all of us who are Nike fans and so on, to drop Nike and to pick up Adidas. And I'm thinking Adidas. I think it is a good thing for Sia and for Dominica if we using Adidas. They might just give us the track or the stadium we need to practice and have our children run on rubber. You know, that's what I think it is. So let's see if we can go in that direction with Dominican. Good evening.
Thanks, man. Lobby, what you were saying?
Yes, Sebastian, yes. Just to tell the caller that during my tenure as an athlete, my wear was always Adidas in those days. That was very common in Dominica, Adidas in those days. So, Sibo, yes, on a more pleasant note, you ask about the project of not Fear, but Fabian Flora.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, Flora was also a triple jumper.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have to understand that. He's rather unfortunate, having won a silver medal in the under-20 at the Keister Games in the triple jump.
Mm-hmm.
All right, having born in the Dutch island of St. Martin, he told me, look, he couldn't, what else for him? He went ahead, St. Martin, he got his Dutch passport. Then he went to Holland to represent Holland. He went to the Olympic Games. He's a very bright individual. He did a lot, rather unfortunate that he had to represent Holland. But so much for that, he has never turned his back on this country, Dominica, Fabian Flora. Now, the same project, when he came, he spoke about the athletic facility. All right. Now he has gotten the green light by NASIF. We had to have this at NASIF to go ahead. All right, to go ahead and install this long jump. He's going to have this long jump, triple jump pit, javelin shot put, and he also wants to have
green light by NASIF. Where you going to do that?
Up at that tennis area, where they have their tennis area.
Okay.
Right. So they have given that for sure. All right. So he has put his plans together. He has done an estimate. The next thing is funding. But let me tell you what they think going to entail. Besides having the jumping area and the throwing area, he also wants to have a weight room and also a bar to sell sports drinks also. Now, this for sure is serious. It's not like what the track we have asking about track, and we don't know any audience is land clearing. He will be in Dominica, Sebastian. I'll be talking to him tomorrow, getting in Dominica either this week or next week. And I intend for him to be part of Sports Rap. He said that's no problem. As soon as he comes to Dominica to get into on Sports Rap. Is that okay?
That's very okay, but what you tell me there, what you describe in there doesn't sound like a simple project. It's going to cost money.
Well, no, that he will tell us when he comes. All right, that because he hasn't spoken to Fear as yet, because he's too involved in that, and then tell exactly. But what he has put for sure, he has put a budget on that. Everything has done already. Is funding, and when he comes to Dominica, when on Sports Rap, he'll tell us that for sure. He'll tell us exactly to take it from there. But what is important, Sebastian, what is important, that is not like the track we end about clearing land. All right? Established. And he's very, very serious to have this track facility in Dominica.
Right. Okay. We don't have much time, guys. First, I want to talk about Bernard Julian, who died. I'm sure you all followed cricket. You heard about his death. First of all, I played with and against Bernard Julian. When I played President 11, Clive Lloyd was the captain. I was a schoolboy at the time. I think Viv played, Nob Zaidi played, El Comido Willett, David Murray, Gordon Greenwich, Richard Gabriel. Who else was on that team? Bernard Julian. And this guy was a brilliant cricketer. I mean, when you check, he had a better batting average than everybody else on the West Indies team now. Every single one. And he batted 7-8, Bernard Julian. Number 7 or 8. And he had a better batting average than every single member of the West Indies team now. Yeah. And said that, in fact, what I heard his son on Tuesday night was speaking, and he said that towards the end that he didn't get the support as a former West Indies, and that was sad. I mean, when you have guys who played for West Indies and the way, in fact, the son said he struggled in the last few years of his life, and that was a bit sad when I heard that. And sometimes these things happen that former cricketers and when they retire, nobody really takes care of them, and maybe that's the reason why some guys feel they must go and play all about the place now to see how much money they can make. But I saw his son Bevan was on the radio on Tuesday night, and I listened to him, and it was very sad to hear how his father has struggled. But Bernard Julian, very good cricketer. In fact, they had labeled him once as the next Sobers, which was an error. I mean, how many Gary Sobers you could have? Anyhow, there was only one Gary Sobers. Eh?
Yes, Sibo. Bernard Julian. Let us go back again. I don't know if Landa can remember that. But David Defoe, who was the better swing bowler?
Well, boy, that's a difficult one. Both of them were outstanding swing bowlers. That's a difficult one. Both of them, both Bernard Julian and David Defoe were outstanding swing bowlers.
Yes, let's look at it. People that at the time Defoe played for the Windward Island and Combined Islands.
Yeah.
Right, and he was in the equation of playing for West Indies. So the same thing happened to Irvin and Lloyd. They said Lloyd can bowl. He can do some pace bowling. They said that Bernard Julian is a better batsman.
Well, I think he was a very good batsman, Bernard Julian. I played with him and against him when he played for Trinidad against the Combined Islands.
Yeah, but Defoe it's rather an exceptional bowler, Sebastian.
Yes, David was good. David was his brother died recently. Would have come down. Yeah, his brother died recently.
Fast bowler, David Defoe. I mean, a lot of people, this swing, I haven't seen, let's face it, have you ever seen any swing bowler in Dominica as Defoe? Since that time?
Well, really seen it. I mean, swing bowling is not a thing that is common, as you know. It's not a thing that's common. In fact, right now we've struggled, West Indies, to find anybody. So swing bowling, I remember you did up somebody like Ian Botham while he was a right-hander. Swing bowling, I mean, one of the best exponents of swing bowling was Ian Botham, the former England fast bowler. But guys, let's talk about the West Indies. West Indies playing tonight, by the way, 12 o'clock. The second test is going to be played at Delhi. The first test, you all watch cricket, right?
I didn't look at one ball.
You didn't look at it at all?
I didn't look at one ball.
I look at it.
Is it because you were disappointed you didn't want to watch it?
It was too disorganized. How could you come from a FET tournament, a CPL FET tournament, go up to India in 5 days?
You
don't have time to get acclimatized. You don't have no warm-up games, and you go straight into a test match against a team of that nature? What do you expect?
But you know,
and Sammy comes and say that since 1983, and the same thing's continuing.
But here's the classic. The West Indies announced, when the team was announced, they announced 15 people, right? Anderson Phillip was on the 15. He was named on the 15. Zari Joseph got injured, and they brought in a guy, what's his name? Help me now. Anyway, he was brought in. And do you know that they left out Phillip and brought him in? And Phillip was on the original team. So you wonder what these people are doing. And again, they won the toss. Now, that West Indies team, sometimes when you win the toss and fill up, sometimes it's a defensive measure. But I think they should go defense because West Indies winning the toss, matches, unless India bats long, matches will finish inside 3 days. And I said that. The matches are going to finish inside 3 days. And West Indies haven't scored 200 runs for a long time. This is the but I'm talking about this is 8th inning in a row. West Indies haven't scored 200 runs. In fact, in this match, the first match, they only batted 79 overs. They didn't even get to a new ball. I mean, how are you going to beat anybody with that kind of cricket? I mean, it is really, and you know, guys, I'm going to say it straight. West Indies level now is on the level of teams like Nepal, Zimbabwe, Ireland. I think that's the level we are in. Because West Indies really have one real good test cricketer now. When you look at what we have, you look at the 11, one good test cricketer we have. So we're going to struggle. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Steve. Welcome, man.
How are you? Thank you.
All right, and good evening to London Douglas. You know, I always have questions.
Yes.
Steve, how long is the tenure of the board we have there? That's one question. The other question is, how do we get that board out and Sammy out? That's another question. I heard Sammy saying he was born in 1983, and West Indies cricket had the problem long before that, and the impression he gave as though people giving him blows, but he was born in 1983, and West Indies had their problem already. So, Sibo, if you can answer those two
I'm
questions.
good. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Thank you.
The board, the president, well, I saw the last board meeting early on, the president's term now has been increased to 3 years. Before it was 2 years. How people get on the board, let's say like, there are 2 representatives of each of these 6 territories. Guyana, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, Windward, and Leeward. So 2 people from each territory represent. Let's say like Windward have 2 people, Jamaica 2. They get to the board. That's 12, and they also have 4 non-member directors. Now the classic is the last time they appointed there were 4 ladies, people who never played cricket at all. So you have 4 women as non-member directors. So what happens now? For instance, look at Enoch Lewis. He's been there for 20-something years. 20 odd years representing the Leeward Island. So what you have is as a nonsense that people go there for a good time, they cannot make any contribution, they are hopeless, and the cricket is not being developed. And what's the other question she asked? She asked about what was the second one? I'm trying to remember it. She asked Sammy. Well, the thing is that Sammy has a contract, they gave him a contract. So it's up to the board to get rid of him. That's how it's done, to fire him if they think he's not performing. But you heard the president there, they talking some nonsense, said because he's from St. Lucia, that's why people are getting pressure, which was pure foolishness, honestly. Pure foolishness. So I hope I answered your question, but that's how it is that, in fact, Don Webby, may his soul rest in peace, he died recently. He was the guy who was given a thing to write a project on the board. He recommended that the board should be cut down to 9 people. He said that each territory should only have 1 director and 2 other things. But the board didn't accept it because some people feel if they accept it, they wouldn't be on the board. So it's important that there, because each territory has 2 people. So that wasn't accepted, and it just keeps going on. That look, we hear now, the board now is more or less broke. And instead of the cricket that's going to suffer, because what has already happened, the CCC and the academy team, they're no longer going to be in the 50 over tournament, neither the first class next year. So you have, and the under 17 tournament next year going to be removed. So cricketers going to suffer, whereas people on the board wasting time cannot make a contribution and they continue there. That's what's happening. So we're not in a problem. West Indies cricket, as I said, we're on the same level with teams like Nepal. Gone on the days where we dominate. In fact, West Indies is probably the only professional team that dominated the sport for so many years. Remember in the 70s, 80s, for at least 15 years, we dominated around the world. But now we don't have the players. Let's take this caller again. Yeah. Good evening.
Hey, Sibo, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Well, I never see a batsman lucky like John Campbell. I don't know what is the purpose they play him all the time. Eh?
Well, he's not here. He's not here alone. A lot of people. A lot of people they are lucky. A lot of people. Yes.
Because I don't see John Campbell on my team at no time. Even though he make runs in the regular tournaments we have. But when it comes to test cricket, he can't score runs.
But how many people have scored runs on the team for the last couple years? You're speaking about one particular person.
You give other players a chance, but Campbell is the most lucky batsman in the whole of West Indies. Since I follow in cricket in the West Indies, and they still have him. He might even play tonight again.
But of course, who else they have? They don't have anybody else.
Oh my!
They don't have anybody else. They don't have anybody else.
Yeah. Chandra Paul, he out in the same way all the time. He not moving his foot across. I don't know. Something is really bad about our cricket now, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
no,
bro.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway. Thank you.
Yes, brother. Hey. So as you're looking at.
Hold on, Lobby. That's another call again. Hold on. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sibo and the rest of the panel.
Hey, how are you, man? Good night. Good night.
Well, I just heard I saw the Indians on social media put a lot of blows on West Indies team. They say they should only play T20s.
Well, even at that level now, they're struggling, eh? So even at that level.
And then you now talking about the board is broke.
Yes, his body's definitely broke now.
Well, if we don't have the talent to bring the crowd back, then it might just be the death knell of the West Indies cricket.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Holding himself had a concern when, some of the new forms came in, because right now, and somebody mentioned after the last test that they should build the team around Atanaz. Because I think they're looking at Papi Show in Test cricket. And again, to just strengthen the point you made, that the Indians over the years have really observed West Indies cricket. They discovered what was carrying West Indies cricket. And they build their outfits just on the same old West Indian model with that pace. And with Sobers and Richards and these guys and some good batters. So the Indians look at that model and they have used it well, and they really look like the old West Indies outfit today. But I believe that our players really, when they get the opportunity, have to spend time in the wicket, man.
I agree with you. It's a 5-day game.
Cricket is for 5 days.
Correct, yeah.
Because I noticed Atanaz played on 2 occasions. I noticed him playing a short of John P. Rose, which is a 50 over stroke. In Test cricket, man, you spend the time there and you try to build the same average, which is being spoken about as a justification for your selection. So spend time in the wicket and score the runs. But it's sad where we are reached. Let's hope they give a better performance
tonight. Well, we'll see. Well, as I said, we're hoping
they might have to send them in another group.
Because, as I tell you, the same level we are. But what's hurting in that? We are not even helping ourselves in that. Look at India. The stadium they played in, the capacity is over 100,000 people. If you look at the game, there probably were hardly 1,000 people in the ground. So teams are suffering that we're not playing enough days of cricket, finishing in 3 days, so the crowds can't come to cricket. So they're losing money.
But that's the same thing, you see, because the Indians looked at that last series against Australia, where I believe our man Hodge should have been in the team. And then to come and score 27 runs.
Well, the rate at which they go in, you might see Hodge in New Zealand, eh? You might see him on the team in New Zealand in the series in November, December. That could very well happen.
Because you see, if you're looking at a good team coming, the people will come and look.
Yeah, you could very well see him because...
You can't come and look at people who... Because I remember West Indies visit to Australia, not the last time, but the time before. And they got a beating and they said, the Australians were saying, maybe that was the last time West Indies should come up there. Because there's no Brian Lara, there's nobody from the time Shander Paul disappeared from the radar. Nobody from the West Indies team seemed to be standing at the world level.
Well, I tell you, when you have one cricketer you can in Jaden Seals, that's the only real world-class cricketer I think we have now.
Now Seals is now in the picture. But there's nobody else. Shander Paul, and it's how we played, the Shander Paul. He always loved it batting. Okay, so I just wanted to throw these things out.
No problem, man. Thank you. No problem.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, Robert.
Remember when you had when Hodge.
Hold on, Lobby. Somebody, sorry, Lobby. 1 minute. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Thibault, and good evening to the other panelists.
Yes, good evening.
Thibault,
yes, sir.
I'm saying to myself, what is the real policy of Indian cricket these days, from me? Because, for example, I'm going to make a comment there. You tell me you had Shander Paul as an opener. You drop him, right, for no reason, because you're bringing him back and he has not done anything. Now, in the first place, why did you drop him and bring him back? That is one, right? You had Asanas, you not play him, all of a sudden you bring him back, and he's in all formats. All formats.
Yes.
You have Hodge, who scored the most runs last year in Test cricket, and you're not playing him? I mean, what is the real policy, Sibo? I really don't understand from you. These are Viking that's happening there. I mean, come on, man. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. All right, Colin,
Yes.
thanks.
Yes, Sibo.
Yes, Toby.
Yes, remember when Sammy and who is the president you have?
No, well, it was Bascom that was the director of cricket, Miles, yeah.
And we remember they dropped Afanas and Hodge.
Yes.
Right. He said that they have plans. They have plans for Afanas and Hodge. And we are too emotional in Dominica, which I find he was very rude. And he said that they said that Hodge batting too slow. What what happened? They said Hodge batting too slow, you know.
Well, the thing is that cricket is a test match is 5 days. There, people, we have to learn to bat long. Let's take this caller. Hold on, Lobby. Good evening. Hold on, Lobby. Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
You remember Don Wick? Pin for Empire.
Who's that?
Don Wick.
I heard about you. I didn't see him. I never really saw him play with that.
He was a brilliant batsman. He played here with Empire with two balls on the side.
I heard about him.
You didn't see him playing here?
I didn't see him. No, Mookie. I heard about it. That time I was still in Crawley.
He was an all-rounder. You see the man sweeping for 6 runs, you know, down the extra, you know, sweeping, you know, for 6 runs or so. And he still couldn't make West Indies side, you know. And now he's in Jojo on the field with. And it's the reason why he couldn't make the other side, because he was too critical, because he was a what do you call it again? He was a journalist. That is why they couldn't make the side. They keep him down.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, you know, guys, West Indies cricket, did you see the West Indies shirt, what they have on it? An Indian thing. West Indies, we can't even get our own business in the Caribbean to sponsor. In fact, right now, Vivian Richards, Brian Lara, and them, they were in a golf thing today, trying to see if they could get Indians to help West Indies cricket with sponsors. Can you imagine that? And they're supposed to have a marketing department at the board, and the board can't get sponsors to run West Indies cricket.
The board have to go. The things like the board must go.
They have no money. The chief CEO, Chris Daring, is in India now. There was this function last night where I tell you Viv was there. Because Viv is like a king in India. And so they brought him up to see if he can help raise funds for the board and Brian Lara. And that's how bad it is now, that the board has no money. The board is broke. And you know, go ahead.
What's the role of Enoch Lewis on the board?
He's a director. In fact, he's head of the cricket department, because in the committee, head of the cricket committee, Enoch Lewis.
So now that he's there for life.
Well, he's there over 20 years. He's a director of the board. He's there he's the longest serving member there, over 20 years. There are 6 at board meetings, you know. Let me see, in the room, we'll have about 18 people in the room when you have a board meeting. 18. They have all these people, and they're making no contribution to West Indies cricket. So we're just in a sad state, and tonight, let's hope they can do something, because if you keep losing like that, because people get fed up. I mean,
it looked bad there in India. I tell myself, look at how we come. We're like Papi Show. We am they do. You know when they say in Patois, they do. All right.
Yeah. There's nobody in the ground. I mean, this is a ground, the stadium in Ahmedabad, also 100,000 people.
We were once West Indies. We rule the role of cricket, and the stadiums were filled to capacity wherever we played. I mean, the past players, I know how their inner soul. If I go in their inner soul, it hurt.
Let us say to Alexander Burton, because of the time tonight, we will have you next week so that you can tell us about. I know you're coming to the business end of the Cardiago Premier League. So next week we'll speak to you. I think you have 1 win already. So next week we'll contact you, because look, it's almost time, because tonight we lost a lot of time with what they had going on. So yeah, so guys, tonight, as I said, the West Indies plays tonight. I'm sure most Dominicans would want Alec to make some runs. But again, like I say, he has to choose the right balls to play.
True.
Yeah. You see, you can only make runs staying there. Too many shots are being played, and not he alone, all these guys, too many shots. You saw a guy get bowled, Brendan King, leaving a ball, get bowled, middle stump, Ball straight in the stump, you get bowled. So you just wonder, man. And as I said, the bowling, you have Warwican as your vice captain. And Warwican as your vice captain.
He looks very ordinary.
He is ordinary. He is ordinary.
But
the classic was that, the day before the test match, they interviewed him, and he was saying that the Indians are suspect against left-arm spin.
Which one?
And by the fourth day of the match, the spinners will come into their own. But when last West Indies reached 4 days in a test match? And you had this guy talking that full speed.
Which spinner?
Warwican, the left-arm spinner. He said that they suspect, and you bring Kyrie Pierre at 34 to make his debut, left-arm spin.
If we have cricket right now, there should be something advocacies right now in the region to get rid of that board to save West Indies cricket. Not bringing Lara legends, you bring it for them, bringing them to have what? Bring them. You have to get rid of the board. It's ridiculous.
Well, when Dave Cameron, they remember people like Ralph Gonzalez, Keith Mitchell, the Lugs, they don't want to get rid of him. And every day you were hearing them calling for his resignation.
Yeah.
What's happening now? Our cricket now is just in a complete mess.
And the worst thing, Sebastian, is as you play cricket and nobody is in the stadium. That's not a peak game, That is, and the stadium, 100,000 people. I wonder what is happening.
Well, the Indians are getting points for the World Test Championship. That's all they're looking to full the basket. They're probably looking for another 12 points when it starts tonight.
Yeah.
Because the West Indies team doesn't inspire any confidence on it.
We lost to Nepal 2-1. We lost to Nepal. There was 83 runs.
Well, that's the level we had to teams like Nepal and Zimbabwe and Ireland. That's the level because we can't really compete with teams like Australia now and South Africa and India. By the way, today as we talk about, there's a good cricket game to the ladies. South Africa beat India with 1 over to go.
Yeah.
In the World Cup, nice cricket match today. I watched some of it, the ladies.
Yeah.
And West Indies again can't even be in the World Cup.
But you see, Sebastian, we just had this T20. One thing is that, Sebastian, we look at the T20 in the region, and we look at in terms of the performances of the batsmen, the fielder batsmen. And let us face it, not many young batsmen, they were in terms of they were outstanding. All right.
Well, we have struggled, and I don't know. They have Emlak there. Why wouldn't they play the guy? I don't know why he's not playing him. Right. I mean, everybody's getting a try. They're not probably. Give him a try. He was in Pakistan. He didn't do badly. Give him a try.
No, but after that, you have it. Seriously, it is sad. It is just sad, Sebastian. Very, very sad. It is sad. We were
Well, what's in it? From after this test, they go to Bangladesh. If they announced Alik Afanas in the team for both formats, I see they have young Okies from St. Lucia as well. So we'll see how that works.
It's sad that Hodge. The man said they had plans for Hodge. Plans what?
Well, you might see him in New Zealand, Lobby. That's why they have plans. Who knows? They're going to New Zealand in November. They have free test matches there. We might see him there. Who knows? Maybe that's the plan they have. Right, guys? So we have to tell everybody be safe tonight. Let's hope everybody be okay. I think the weather shouldn't impact us too much. We had this thing tonight where so everybody should be okay. Huh? Yeah, Lobby?
What we're going to and people can count is a lot of rain. The rivers, exactly, people. The rivers will be, once you have heavy rain, it will be swelling. So just be careful.
Let's hope that we don't get anything and everybody will be okay. And Dominica really can't afford to have any kind of bad weather now because the country.
There'll be rain for sure.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Since we don't get heavy wind and all kind of landslides and everything, asking everybody to stay home, be safe, and have a good night. So on behalf of Ronald Lander, Manuel Loblack, I want to say good night. We'll be back next week, Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night, okay.
You have to stay there now?
Where in Roseau, Kimatabis, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford. All chicken parts available that you can have board fresh breast. And you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks, it's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always ready.
The economic fabric of Dominica revolves at AC Shillingford and Company. For timeless, trusted, dependable, comprehensive insurance coverage, it has to be New India Insurance. Need anything overseas? Shopbox Dominica and Isle of Freight is your advance on-time delivery right to your doorstep. For super savings on all your groceries, come to ACS Super Shopping Center for laundry, groceries, cooking, beverages, and event supplies on King Jonathan Street. ACS 7-Eleven on High Street supplying your everyday essentials. Fill up your vehicle gas tanks, get your cooking gas, and top-ups of all kinds. Or go to 7-Eleven Portersville with the best kept secret